Have you ever stayed stuck just staring at your to do list and you feel like your brain just won't cooperate? My name is Elyssa Smith, a trauma informed executive coach. And in today's episode of the Unlock Your Blocks podcast, I'm going to reveal why your nervous system stays stuck in this analysis paralysis and the shift that you need to actually break that cycle. So, when you learn at early on, let's think about when you were growing up and you made a mistake and it's like dun 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 and whatever happens happens. Now in some cases, god forbid, there's big T trauma that happens when you make a mistake as a kid. So it could be like you get corporal punishment, like it's a really bad situation. You might also have just gotten like a minor judgment or some sort of a punishment or something gets taken away. So automatically, and for basically good reasons, we have associations that are negative with making mistakes because in societal, evolutionary purposes, we want to keep the human race essentially not making too many mistakes that are going to put us in danger. But if you learned as a kid that the only way that you were worth something, the only way that you could actually have value, the only way that you could get your needs met was to not make mistakes, then mistakes would feel very dangerous. You may feel like you automatically are going to be in trouble, so to speak. Like as a grown human, you might feel like you're going to be in trouble. If as a kid, when you got in trouble, it was like inexcusable or something really bad happened. You also might have grown up with a household model that reinforced that only being over prepared or being perfect is acceptable. I grew up with an authority figure in my life. God love him, just God rest him, wonderful human. And if you weren't over prepared, then you were underprepared, and that was not acceptable. And there would be like judgy comments made, and there would be shame and like anger. So if you grow up in a household where that's the case, or just even like a school system, or if you had a really harsh piano teacher or something like this, that perfection is the only safe place to be, then that's what's gonna grow in your mind. Your nervous system is going to wire together any thoughts that link together that your little mind created at that time to make sense of your surroundings. So it was a good thing. Your brain taught you like, hey, you need to be over prepared in order to stay safe. You got to be perfect to stay safe. So we create then this world, this facade almost for the world to see. And then the true self is inside going, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. So that's really challenging if you grow up that way, but it is a good survival technique that your system adopts. Another thing is your brain, if you are someone who gets stuck in analysis paralysis now, your brain when you were younger probably adopted sort of like the fight, flight, freeze, fawn strategies to survive judgment or abandonment, whether it was real or imagined. Because some people, again, God forbid, it's really traumatic for a child to get actually abandoned, actually judged harshly when they're just being humans. But if that's what's happening and that's the only feedback that's available, we get smaller and we start to doubt ourselves because we believe from the ages of 0 to 10 that everything must be about us. So if everything is about us, that means I must need to do better, be more, work harder, and that's the only solution. So that kind of fuel to our little fire that says you got to be perfect is really damaging to the soul, to the spirit, and it causes us to have to become adults really young. So, a little case study from my own life. When I was planning my first international retreat, any little uncertainty, like I had never done this before. I did have somebody helping me she's amazing at planning retreats, but essentially the buck stopped with me, figuratively and literally. But it was like, what if no one signs up? What if I fail? What if it goes poorly? And things went wrong on both of the international retreats that I hosted last year. But the thing is, none of it was the stuff that my brain was worried about. It was like, what if no one wants to go? And it's like, people heard we were going to Greece and they're like, yes, full body, yes, absolutely, I would like to go to that. But your brain just thinks of whatever it's just gonna grab at these ideas of like, oh, this is never gonna work, like you better stay frozen. And so what if you fail? What if everything would just trigger my whole system when I was going through that process. But now I've done 2 of these retreats and it's like, well, if I want to do another one, when we do another one, I'm not going to have those same analysis paralysis triggers. It's going to be like, I can trust my gut now. I can trust the experience that I've had. I can trust my team. But I had to learn how to notice when I was stuck in the spiral of the analysis paralysis and then kind of step out and reground myself, which is what I'll walk you through in a second here. So, what this looks like, if you want to look at it on like a micro level in your day-to-day life. So if you find that you are stuck procrastinating, even though you know the next step to take in the thing, you might be stuck in this analysis paralysis. Your system is like, I don't really trust that it's going to be safe on the other side of the action, the actual doing of the things. Even aligned opportunities are probably going to feel pretty paralyzing. So you might have a new opportunity that's available to you. Like right now, I'm planning with a colleague of mine. We're planning our first retreat for a law firm. I've not done that before, but I've spoken to lots of lawyers and law firms before. But now we're creating a retreat. But my system, had I not gone through a reprogramming of the parts of me that used to get really worried about doing something new, like, do you actually have what it takes to do this? And how are you actually going to do this? I can actually make a decision now because I trust my nervous system trusts me to guide it through and be safe, even if other people abandon me. I mean, really, what would be better in your life for you to get so, I don't know, perfect that you don't make mistakes, or for you to be so resilient that even if you make mistakes and even if other people abandon you or judge you, you are not shaken. That's what we're going for, right? This inner healing that comes from a place of power, a place of peace, like being deeply okay, no matter the mistakes that you make. But the analysis paralysis says, no, we cannot trust that we're going to be okay unless we do it perfectly. So you also are going to end up, if you are dealing with this, there's like a survival-based self-sabotage in overthinking, perfectionism, avoiding things, that again, with the procrastination cycle, like you might just be like, oh, look at this laundry that needs to be done instead of actually writing that email to invoice the client. So there's a lot that can happen as an adult, and this will just cause you to be pumping your brakes internally. You'll be like pushing forward and pushing back at the same time because you're like, I know what to do, but I just can't quite seem to land on the thing that will get me moving forward. So that's really important for you to address. And here's if this sounds like you, if this sounds familiar, here's what I want to direct you to help your survival system so that you can actually start moving again. Okay. So, when you're feeling frozen, you start to gently direct yourself from your brain to your body. We want to get back into your body because what's happening in that analysis paralysis is your survival brain is in charge at that point, which means you don't even have access to your higher level thinking. Okay. So, anytime you're in survival mode and you can feel the fight, flight, freeze, fawn happening, the analysis paralysis, that overthinking spiral, you need to get back in your body to help your brain know that you're actually not running from a wild animal, okay? Because that's what it assumes is happening anytime you're stressed. Anytime you're stuck in analysis paralysis, it's because your system is worried that you're facing a threat that you're not equipped for. So you want to look at what the thoughts are that are driving the freeze. Why is your brain trying to keep you safe? What's it trying to keep you safe from? When you can understand what your brain thinks is the worst case scenario, then you can make a plan for that worst case scenario about how you're going to help yourself stay safe no matter what. And that creates this deep level of resilience that is actually unshakable. You can be totally unbothered when you are up against something that it brings the unknown or makes your brain have the old defaults of that procrastination, that perfectionism, people pleasing, this analysis paralysis, the second guessing. Those are all the old defaults formed from ancient days when we were little and we needed that to survive. But now you get to reprogram and show your system, hey, no matter what happens, I got me. I'm going to be okay because I'm here, and I'm going to make sure that I don't have to overthink every single thing because I am trustworthy. It is safe for me to trust my own instincts, and I can move forward one step at a time, learning from my mistakes. So one thing that you can do if you want some help staying grounded is you can download my free guide that is 5 nervous system hacks that you can just do at your desk. It's super simple, super easy stuff. And it's you can find it at elyssasmith.com/reset. And what that will do is it will start to teach your nervous system, no matter what stress is happening, we're actually safe in our body. We're actually safe here. I'm just sitting at my desk. I'm not trying to find the nearest tree to scale to get away from the mountain lion. So if you want to go deeper, you can actually book me for a free 15-minute chat, and I will help you untangle the roots of this and go back to the origins where we can say, oh, this is why analysis paralysis is such an issue as you're trying to level up. And I'll help point you in the right direction for your next steps. So I hope this is helpful for you. And until next time, take such good care of yourself.